Welcome to TMI. Sports Gone Wrong, Part 1. It's the stop that kills you. 2008 saw a 46-year-old man vacationing with some friends while skiing in Italy. One evening, after a few beers, the men decided to use the protective mat covering the metal barriers at the bottom of the slope as a sled by stealing it. After climbing the hill and throwing themselves down, they crashed into the same barrier from which they had taken the safety matting. They didn't survive. Stay on the cart path. On September 5, 2017, in California, a joyful golfer's final action was driving a golf cart on the highway. However, the golf cart was being towed by a car linked only by a garden hose. The 28-year-old was killed in an instant when the golf cart veered over the double yellow line and straight into the path of a pickup truck. Dead run. On September 9, 2014 in New York, Kevin Ward liked to compete in sprint car racing. In sprint car racing, drivers race around a dirt track at speeds in nearly 140 miles per hour. When cornering, they allow the car to drift or slide through the corner. Sprint car drivers are protected by roll cages, a 7-point safety harness, and fuel bladders to help prevent fuel leaks. They also wear a special driver's suit, gloves, and a full-face helmet. All these are to help prevent injury in case of a crash. If involved in a crash, the drivers are to remain in their vehicle while they await track personnel. When cars drift through turns in sprint car races, it means they are barely gripping the track before losing control. It was in this setting that another car gave Kevin's a bump, sending it spinning and slamming into the wall. Kevin's car was out of the race due to the damage. He chose to confront the driver who had bumped him. Not only did he get out of his car without thinking, he also forgot about corner drifting and ignored the fact that his black helmet and uniform were almost completely invisible in the dark on a nighttime racetrack. Kevin identified the other driver as the driver approached the bend. Nevertheless, the negligent driver failed to notice the person dressed in a dark jumpsuit. Kevin's luck ran out when the car tried to avoid him, but failed. The car slid sideways in an attempt to swerve but struck Kevin, who was knocked to the ground. Kevin's final race ended tragically as he died as a result of his injuries. Can't walk on water. On March 18, 2022, a pastor in Florida and a friend went boating on Lake Seminole. He and his friend were having a great time until the boat began to sink. To make matters worse, they had no life vests. Fortunately, other boaters called the local sheriff and the two were returned safely to shore. But the safety of the land was only temporary. The pastor wanted to go out yet again and recover the first boat. He called another friend in who agreed to go with him. Later that afternoon, he tried to get in the abandoned boat, but it capsized as he boarded. He ended up in the water with no life jacket. To make matters worse, he could not swim. His friend tried to rescue the pastor, but failed. Trying to pull somebody from the water into the boat is not easy. Certainly not as easy as in the movies. You guessed it, the pastor drowned. The moral of the story: stay out of the water if you can't swim, or at the very least wear a life jacket. Ball cleaner. Everett Sanchez attempted to clean his own balls in a ball washer at the nearby golf course, based on a wager made by the other two players in his trio. Sanchez successfully straddled the ball washer and dangled his scrotum inside, demonstrating once more the unfavorable combination of beer and testosterone. To his dismay, one of his friends increased the stakes by turning the machine's crank while Sanchez's scrotum was still in place, firmly embedding them in the mechanism. Immediately surpassing his pain threshold, Sanchez fell and toppled from his perch. Unfortunately for Sanchez, the ball washer's height was more than a foot higher than his testicles would normally be in a normal stance. During the fall, Sanchez's scrotum was torn open, causing one testicle to be permanently removed and left inside the ball washer, and compressing and flattening the other testicle as it was pulled between the washer's housing and the rotating machinery inside. Sanchez broke a brand new $300 driver that he had just bought from the pro shop and was using to balance himself, which made matters worse. The three were asked to leave the course, and Sanchez was taken to the hospital in a hurry for surgery. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more.